Hey guys, welcome to Picture Book Drama, where it is everything in entertainment. I am your host, Sean, your video and comic guru, and welcome to our continuing countdown to the 31 days of October. Here I'm going to celebrate my favorite Halloween films. Hopefully you guys have been hitting me up, letting me know what your favorite films are. With this countdown, I'm going to be hitting up, which is some would say a little bit of everybody's favorite, because it has some nice little jump scares in it. You can basically scare the crap out of little kids with this film, no matter what time of year it is. This movie came out in 1992. It's actually the brainchild of Clive Barker, who did Hellraiser. Now, this movie actually starred Tony Todd, who up until that point no one knew who he was. He actually did some guest stars in like Star Trek, The Next Generation, shows like that. But in 1992, he really hit the mark with Candyman. Now, this film was just basically ahead of his time. It really was just the right amount of scare and the right amount of folklore. Now, this film follows Virginia Madsen, or Madsen, however her name is pronounced. Now, she's a research student focusing on old folklore, where she comes across this strange story about a slave who was killed because they found him around this dead girl. And what happened was that they chased him down and they ended up basically brutally killing him. During the time where he was killed, his body was consumed by a ton of bees. No one knew what happened to him. He ended up just running off. They thought he died from it, and no one actually heard from him for a while. And over time, the people who actually were members of the family, bad things started happening to him, very grotesque things started happening. And then other people who got involved with it, slowly but surely they got bad things happening to him too, to the point where the folklore just kind of grew and grew and grew, to the point where now if you say his name 3 times in a mirror, he pops up, brutally kills you, you know, the usual. But the cinematography in this film, the way they approached it, there are some really great scenes in here which are all just about how a camera moves. It's not about blood or gore or anything like that. And this movie has its moments, but it's not a slasher film. It really does think about the plot. And even Candyman in here is a wounded villain. You know, you really feel for him because he's really just out, you know, hey, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you. But in 1992, this film was so great that it actually did, yes, like everything else, spawn the sequel. Now, this one, Farewell to the Flesh, it was good. It was a nice follow-up. Came out in 1995, so it was enough time in between there for people to want to see another sequel. Again, Clive Barker comes in as an executive producer, and Tony Todd at this point is starting to dip into the executive producing role too. He's not credited for it in this film, but in the next film he definitely is an executive producer. Now, this is a very forgettable story. It kind of was rehashing the same one, you know, can we just turn him into a slasher villain instead of someone who actually you thought about, who you cared about. And as these films progressed, you really didn't care about them at all. I mean, I honestly could not tell you the real plot to this one or the third one. The third one's even worse, but I'm a completionist. I won't lie to you and tell you a film's good if it's not, but it did have some good jump scares to it. I'm not a big fan of jump scares, but it made up for the plot of the movie, which is not very good. So, in 1995, this is Farewell to the Flesh. Now, 4 years later, they came out with this one, and I think this one just came straight out to video. This movie starred like Donna, I can't even pronounce her last name, but she's from Baywatch. So yeah, that lets you know how great this is. And that was Day of the Dead. Now, at this point, Tony Todd is executive producer. Clive Barker no longer has anything to do with it, which kind of lets you know how far this movie has gone down. It's nothing compared to the first film. It really just turned into almost a Friday the 13th. Here's a bunch of people. We're just going to kill them all. There is nothing to this movie. It's almost to the point where you're like, I just reboot it already and just be done with it. So This is in 1999. They still haven't touched it since then. You know, who knows? They may do something on like Netflix or, you know, Cinemax, who knows? But please don't continue this story. Just start it over. But this is my opinion on these films. Let me know what you guys think. Have you seen Candyman? Have you seen the other two sequels? Let me know what you guys think. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on Twitter. Don't forget, subscribe. Let me know what you guys are up to. This way you're up on everything that I'm going to be doing as well. Until then, I'm Sean. That was the Candyman. Talk to you later. Peace.